Here's your tarot reading from the woods for Thursday, October 23rd, or whatever day this reading finds you. You choose between the air, earth, and water elements. I'll pull cards for each and offer an interpretation. Air, earth, or water. Each reading will be timestamped in the captions, but they are collective readings, so often we can find something useful in all three of them. Hi, I'm Brooke, tarot reader in the woods, and I invite you to use these cards to open a conversation with your own intuition. So just notice what piques your interest, what feels like synchronicity, what feels validating or offers a useful perspective on something. We'll begin with the cards for the air element, the sky. At the top, we have the Ace of Cups reversed and the Hierophant also reversed. One way to interpret these two cards is as a way of describing a situation when we are really in need of community, really desiring, requiring connection with others, being held by others, and that connection, that community is absent, it's not happening, it's failing us in some way. These cards might describe a situation where we feel like a fish out of water. They might describe a situation where we feel like we are going through something that we just can't do alone. But with the reversed Hierophant, there's a sense that our old systems and structures are just not built to support us in the ways that we need right now. But with the reversed Ace of Cups here, it's indicating like it's a validation, like yes, we really do need a deeper and broader connection to community. We really are in a situation where having an extended network would be important and helpful if we lived in a healthily functioning society. So when cards like this come up, it feels like first and foremost, they are acknowledging the reality, the struggle of the situation without necessarily offering a clear path forward. But they do help us to name and face the problem, and then hopefully we can begin some kind of practical steps to build what we need, which is not easy, but with this reading, it feels like it's absolutely necessary. Now the cards for the earth element are in the middle. We have Death and the reversed Ace of Swords. When the Death card appears, it's usually indicating whatever is kind of the biggest transition in our life, whatever is changing the most significantly, whatever is coming to an end or reaching closure and ready to be done with, so that something else can move in and be that energy can be transformed and used in a different way. But with the reversed Ace of Swords, it feels a little bit like there's a possibility that the reversed Ace of Swords is a card of like rationalizations, distortions of truth, misunderstandings of things, stuff like that. So it feels like whatever it is that is kind of naturally concluding and transitioning, we might be in a place where the story we're telling ourselves about it, the understanding that we're reaching, the conclusion that we're drawing is not quite accurate. Like we may not be acknowledging what is happening fully. We might not see it. We might not have a clear perspective on it. But because the Death card is upright, there's an energy here that feels like once we, remove our rose-colored glasses or whatever it is that is distorting things for us and perceive this change for what it is, that it will actually be meaningful, useful, good for us in some way, because we can recognize like, yes, it is time for that cycle to end, for that phase to be over, whatever it is. We can see that this is an organic process that is unfolding. Death is a natural part of life, right? And whatever the metaphor here may be, when anything that begins comes to an end, right? And so there's a feeling here that once we acknowledge that, we can actually sort of part with this thing gracefully, and maybe with some grief and also some acknowledgement for the important role it's served, but with an accurate perception of what's going on and the ability to then act and engage with this process and this change more consciously. The cards for the river, the water element, are at the bottom. We have the reversed Five of Swords and the Four of Discs. Both of these cards are describing whatever feels like a great tension or struggle or conflict in our life right now. They are likely speaking to that issue. And the reversed Five of Swords can appear in those times when we feel like giving up, we feel like we've been defeated, we feel like we cannot possibly succeed, and we want to disengage. The reversed Five of Swords has that feeling of stepping back from taking our energy away from a situation. The Four of Discs, on the other hand, is indicating whatever this stressful or high pressure situation is, and the kind of opportunities for growth, development, and evolution that are present in that situation. So it feels like there is a tension here between two possibilities about how we might engage with this struggle or this conflict. And the counsel here isn't necessarily like, here is how you are going to win, at this thing, or how it's going to work out in your favor. But the counsel here is that there is a difference between conscious engagement with this struggle and avoidance of it. There's like an energy of maintaining a presence even through the darkest or most difficult aspects of this, and that ultimately that exercise, that staying present, staying aware and self-aware even when things get ugly, it feels like that is the true prize or the true sort of test involved in this situation. Like, our growth isn't necessarily contingent on our winning, right? We aren't getting promoted because we succeeded, achieved, or overcame. The feeling is more that our growth, development, evolution, promotion comes from our ability, comes from how we handle shit even when we lose, or even when we are facing a struggle and it feels like we're gonna lose. So these cards have a sense of grittiness, a sense of determination, a sense of a willingness to endure even through the unpleasantness. Like, can we stay at our own side when the going gets tough?